The Labour Minister steps in to mediate the crippling sugar dispute. 2 teens charged with lighting bushfires. And in sports, Barbados wins the WICB President's Trophy.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. Minister of Labour Senator Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku is entering the talks to end the crippling strike at Port Vale with a positive mindset, and this despite a breakdown at the level of the Chief Labour Officer. She says with the matter now in her hands, it shows both sides are still willing to meet. The Labour Minister, before the latest round of talks at the Labour Department in Warrens, said efforts must be made to resolve the matter as the crop is at risk.
We know that is money going down the drain. So it is very important that we try to get this matter settled, get the workers back at work. So I'm going to meet with the parties now. As you would know, I would meet with the parties individually. So I'm going to meet with the union first, then I'll meet with the other side in an attempt to get some sort of agreement. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything else crossed, because this is very, very important that we get this matter going.
Senator Bayer-Suku hasn't ruled out the possibility of relaying the matter to Prime Minister Frundle Stewart should these talks break down.
Again, that is always an option. That has been our protocol, that if it's not solved at domestic level, it goes to the chief. If not at the chief, it comes to me, and if not at me, it goes to the Prime Minister. This is time sensitive. To go through a couple of rounds at me, then to go to the Prime Minister to negotiate everybody's busy schedules for a meeting, that could be carrying us another several days, and I don't think our crop has another several days. So I'm really going to endeavour to do all I can to bring this to a speedy resolution. But that said, I will try my best. If it gets to a point that I say, well, it's not happening, then the option left to me would be the Prime Minister.
And General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Sir Roy Trotman, says the union has not asked for the sugar workers to be reinstated, despite reports in some sections of the press. He maintains that the issue of contention is the manner in which the employers handled the situation. He says this is why the action was taken.
We have made a determination, which has been one to ensure that what happened in the instance of the sugar industry is not taken up tomorrow by a bank or by an airline company or by a manufacturing company or by somebody else, and that we find every employer in Barbados sending you home today, Monday, and sending a letter to the union the day after that, Tuesday. This is intended to be a much higher matter of principle than the question of how many $1,000 got lost yesterday.
The 2 teenagers who appeared in court today accused of setting at least one of the grass fires that kept firefighters busy last week have been released on $25,000 bail. 16-year-old Jed Anthony Taylor of Foul Bay in St. Philip and 17-year-old Tyler Robert Coombs of Worthing Road, Christchurch, appeared before Chief Magistrate Pamela Beckles. She has also put them on a 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew and ordered them to report to the nearest police station every Monday by 10 a.m., as well as surrender their passports. Taylor and Coombs were not required to plead to the offence of causing a nuisance by setting fire to grassland. Now, on Wednesday, police received a report of a grass fire at Chancery Lane, which had to be dealt with by a team of firefighters. The list of national heroes is not a closed one. In fact, Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley says government is open to suggestions as it relates to any additions. Barbados has 10 national heroes. There have been calls in recent times for heroes to be added.
Has to occur, but I have not heard it in a profound way. I've heard it in between, but I have not heard a lot of clamor for that. But certainly our list of national heroes will continue to evolve. We can't be a nation that is a living nation and not have new heroes.
Well, today saw the launch of the Season of Emancipation, which runs until late August. The dates and events of historical significance that make up the season are the Bussa Rebellion, which is commemorated today, National Heroes Day, April 28th, and the Day of National Significance on July 26th. Also celebrated are Emancipation Day on August 1st and the International Day for the Remembrance of the Slave Trade and its abolition on August 23rd. Minister Lashley says the season provides an opportunity for self-renewal and reminds us of the need to be innovative. Despite fewer resources, he says government has ensured events marking the season are not watered down.
Our approach has been to utilize the funds that we have available in an efficient manner. And that has been the mandate that I've given to all the departments, that with less we have to not only attempt to do even more, but to do it in a manner that is much more efficient. And I think that's really the message that we all have to take, that we have to become a more efficient country, and the government has to lead in that respect.
Staying up late tonight? Well, stargazers who do so will be rewarded in the early hours of tomorrow with a full lunar eclipse. We hear more from Kishmar Senjis.
Will have a front row seat as the first total lunar eclipse in more than 2 years will be partially visible from Barbados. Parts of Africa, Asia and Europe, like Barbados, will witness the phenomena. It will be fully visible in areas in North and South America. For Barbadians, it's an event to witness.
From Barbados, the event will be visible in our southeastern skies, and as the eclipse progresses, the moon will move into the southwestern sky. So when the moon sets, the moon will be in the southwestern sky, and at maximum eclipse, the moon should be about 61 degrees above the southwestern horizon. Okay, so if you were, for example, living in the Clapham area, you'll be looking in the direction, the sea, toward the direction of the Hilton Hotel to see the moon in eclipse.
During a lunar eclipse, the moon appears darkened as it passes into the Earth's shadow.
A lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth intersperses itself between the sun and the moon. The Earth's shadow is cast onto the moon. The moon at maximum eclipse will take on a slightly dark red color. This reddish hue is caused by terminator light. That is light being reflected onto the moon through the atmosphere from the day side of the Earth, right? So a light from the day side of the Earth is refracted through the atmosphere and strikes the moon.
Unlike a solar eclipse, it is safe to view with the naked eye. Some have even gone as far as suggesting that a lunar eclipse can affect humans. This notion was dismissed.
We heard things about bad portents for the future. You've heard things about the eclipse affecting women who are pregnant and that kind of stuff. I can assure you there is no credence to those old wives' tales. This is a purely astronomical event.
The other three will occur October 8th this year and April 14th and September 28th, 2015. Mars will also make its closest approach to Earth in 6 years. That will occur just ahead of the eclipse of the moon. Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
Thanks, Kishmar. Well, Barbados has not yet lodged any formal complaint about the recent decision by St. Lucia to impose new duties on Barbadian products. This is according to reports out of St. Lucia. There has been some concern in Bridgetown about the impact the move could have on some businesses that export products to Castries. Last week, Industry Minister Donville Innes said it has implications for local products that have established strong markets in Castries and the viability of such companies to continue to export to that country. Others have called on Barbadians to support local products. In response, St. Lucia's Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce, Titus Preville, said Barbados was party to decisions from a COTAD meeting, which allowed for lesser developed countries of CARICOM to implement the regime. Organizers of Gospel Fest have pledged to do their duty to boost tourist arrivals to the island by creating a festival with more international appeal. That's why they're pushing the International Gospel Fest Choir Competition for 2015. And there's already positive news as they've received entries for the event. Executive producer of Barbados Gospel Fest, Adrian Agard, says this is part of the expansion of the festival, which will be good for tourism. He says they've been working with the Barbados Tourism Authority to attract more people to the island.
To further expand these efforts, we have launched the International Gospel Choir Competition, which is proposed to form an integral part of Barbados Gospel Fest 2015. So in the lead up to that, right from this point on, we will be paying a lot of attention to marketing and promoting that event for 2015, and you'll be hearing some more about that as the festival continues this year. Choirs from across the world are encouraged with this event to participate, and we are pleased to note that submissions have already been received. We'll share more on this development as the week continues.